if I wouldn't have done that, I kept saying, okay, I'm going to save up $10,000. I'm going to save up $1 million. I'm going to have $50 million in savings before I leave, so I can. It would never happen, as you can imagine. What I didn't know, but when I left, I had to make it work.
Tonight's guest is Ramon Ray. We first met on Twitter. This is how life works. We're going to talk about social media and the power of it and how you can leverage it to grow your business to make you a superstar. Ramon is the founder of Smart Hustle Media. He runs conferences. He has a magazine. He speaks all over the world. He wrote books. Smart Hustle Media produces events and content to educate business owners on how to grow their business. He's also the author of many books, and his most recent one we're going to talk about tonight, The Celebrity CEO, How Entrepreneurs Can Thrive by Building a Community and a Small Personal Brand. So stay tuned for tonight's edition of Mind Your Business, where we will discuss a variety of subjects, including how to become a celebrity CEO, how event hosting can easily grow your business, tips on how to master networking, and how to boost your social media feed through FREA. I'm not even sure how to pronounce that, but we're going to get to it. Ramon, thank you for joining me here on Mind Your Business.
Yitzchok, you are right. I was bouncing up and down because your energy is absolutely infectious, and it's an honor to be here. And again, I'm glad you give kudos to your guests because,
thank you.
As you know, I'm a fervent listener of your show, and I love it. So thank you for having me.
And that's a compliment. Let's talk about, first of all, some of our buddies.
Sure.
Sylvie DiGisto, let's give a shout out to her, NSA. Jeffrey Hazlett, Shep Hyken.
Absolutely.
Ron Carr.
Rock stars, man.
Yeah, I mean, the list goes on. We don't want to use the whole hour talking about all our friends, our mutual friends, but we got many.
We do indeed. These are good people. I mean, listen, these are some of the top people, as you know, who speak not just in America, but around the world.
That's right.
And I've learned a lot from them as well, being a speaker myself, so we can learn from each other. But these guys are amazing, and gals, amazing.
Now, Ramon, you speak roughly once a week, right? 50 gigs a year. First of all, at what point did it become easier for you? That, like, let's be honest, when you go up on stage each time, is there a little bit of the you feel it like I'm still a little nervous?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think if you don't,
and that's normal.
Yeah, I think people say if you don't have that, there's a problem. I don't know, what that is, but I mean, I think it is because I respect my audience. Being here, I'm nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous.
No,
Come
really,
on.
I am.
Ramon, you're not nervous. He's not nervous. Come on.
But I mean, I think it is because you want to, or am I going to do it right? Am I going to trip when I go up the stairs? Will the audience like me or not? Am I hitting the right points? And I guess head trash. Right. Okay. Some of it's head trash.
That's true.
But
that's true.
We're professionals, right? And you got to do it. So.
What's the largest crowd you ever went up on stage?
I think the largest one was, there is a company that sells like nail polish and jewelry or something like that. I forgot the name, but like one of these franchises. The ladies go crazy and they sell it in their churches or wherever they're at.
Right.
So I think that maybe 2,000, 3,000,
nice.
Something like that.
Nice.
So it's a pretty large crowd. Most of my crowds are between 200 and 500 people, which is a nice size. It's not yet like a political campaign, 20,000 people.
Right.
Maybe I'll get there one day. We'll see.
Hey, you heard it here first. Hey, 77 WABC is a lot of politics go on here. So
indeed.
Although tonight's show is about business and the Mind Your Business show is about business. Okay, so let's talk about Smart Hustle Media. Tell us about your journey. I mean, when you were in kindergarten, were you dreaming about this?
Actually, when I was in kindergarten or close, I was dreaming to be a Federal Bureau of Investigation agent. That's what I wanted to be. I remember I was in Ohio. I ordered the fax machines are big. I got the little kit that came from the FBI field office, maybe in Columbus, I'm not sure. Open the envelope, the push-ups you have to do. You have to get a college degree. Maybe. They said you don't have to, but we'd prefer it. That's what I wanted to be when I was a kid. FBI.
FBI.
And today, I still wish I could be in the Presidential Protective Detail of the United States Secret Service. That's what I would want to do today.
Because those people are so trained, so disciplined. That's really the right word.
Exactly, and that attracts me.
So let's talk about, you are known to be a master at relationships. Yeah. And hey, that's how we're here together today.
Absolutely.
It came through relationships. Talk about it. Especially in today's day and age where people just, everyone's hiding on their phone. And, how important is it, and what's the secret to building quality relationships?
Here's what I think. I think, one, what does relationship mean? And for me, relationship means trust. Of whatever level it is. And trust grows. Mm-hmm. And trust can be taken away too. But talking about the positive part, that's what a relationship, it's about trust. So for me, and this goes back to the book, goes back to sales, etc. Let's take you and I.
Right.
I'm trying to sell you copy machines. I'm not, but whatever example. I would rather have you like me, have you trust me, us have a coffee together.
Right.
Not by the copy machine. Because if there's a need, and if we're friends and we trust each other, either you're going to buy it, or it's not a fit for you, but you're going to tell me to go call your mom or your grandma or your friend.
Right.
So that's, to me, relationship. And it's not transactional. There's people who you and I generally like each other.
That's right.
But people are in business too.
That's right.
And it so happens, how can I blend that I like you, and either I can help you or you can help me? That is a relationship.
So true. Let's talk about the book, The Celebrity CEO. First of all, what a great title.
Thank you.
Did it come? I'm going to ask you a question. I mean,
Yeah.
did it come in the shower? I'm like, what'd you think of this?
Probably when I was on stage.
On stage. You're
Probably.
looking at the crowd, and you just.
Yeah. And I think here's why. And some people, like my family, your family hits you hardest.
Yeah.
You Mr. Celebrity now? Who are you?
Yeah.
But what it is I'm trying to convey, Yitzchok, that every small business, and this is the essence of it, can be a celebrity to their fan base, to their communities. So it's not, just to be clear, about Ramon, not about Yitzchok being famous.
Right.
No. This is that the small guy selling bottled water.
Right.
People, where's Mr. Bottled Water? They don't even know your name. They just call you Mr. Bottled Water.
Right.
Does that make sense? So celebrity to your audience. Very few of us are going to be a Rihanna or a president or a whoever.
Right.
Very few of us. LeBron. But we all, though, can be very well known to our niche audiences, as Seth Godin talks about quite a bit.
Now, why is personal branding so critical these days? Or I'm sure it was important in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, but especially today, personal branding.
I think for very small businesses, it's everything. Again, let's juxtapose that. I use big words, by the way, sometimes that I don't know how to pronounce.
That's okay.
So you just correct me as I'm pronouncing it.
That's good.
I think it's an English word, juxtapose. Let's juxtapose
You said it correctly.
Coke or Pepsi or the Starbucks,
right.
big global brands.
That's right.
We don't care who the founder is. We don't know who created the company. In general,
Mm-hmm.
it's the brand. We know what the brand stands for. For us, smaller businesses, we are important and we can be an asset. So my point being, personal branding is about me as a person. We're all selling CPA services, let's say, accounting services. Every dime a dozen in New York or anywhere else.
Right.
It's your smile, how you do it. How did you shake my hand? Oh, you blow up balloons for the kids every Thursday at 10 a.m. And I can go on. That to me is the essence of a strong personal brand. We're all selling, quote unquote, the same thing. What makes you different than me and me different than you, so our tribes can coalesce, can group around us. That's why I'm a firm believer in personal branding, because I think without it, you're just Joe the accounting company. You're just Mary the carpet layer, which and you're going to meander along by word of mouth, which is okay. I believe in word of mouth. Right. But it's not enough, man. It's not enough.
Now, let's just talk about the book for a second, itself. There are many people that dream about writing a book. You actually have written many books.
Yes.
What's the process like? Maybe even talk about rejection, right? People go to publishers and they're like, it's not a great book. Excuse me? Hello? What is it like?
I like how you did. That's exactly like, what? This is my book.
My baby.
Exactly. So writing a book. One, for most of us who want to write a book, do not write a book just to make money. I'm not saying it can't make money, but put that out of your mind first. Let's set that notion aside. That's one. Don't do it to make money. Two, I think the best reason to write a book is a calling card for your business and to boost your brand. And people are looking for a reason to talk to you. So give them a reason. Jay Bear, talk trigger. Talk triggers.
Right, talk triggers.
Yes.
That's right.
So it's a talk trigger. That's point two. I think both three. What's the process? Do you have something in your head that you know natively, that you have a strong opinion on, and you can talk a lot about better than anybody else in your own head? So for me, it was Celebrity CEO, which is about personal branding.
Right.
There's a lot of people who write about personal branding. I have my version of it. And the fourth thing is, your book should be substantive. And the last, or you can maybe ask me for more things, but the last tip, as it were, I'll give, is that you can interview other people. There are stats you can do. Case studies. So in my case, this is not a 510,000, page book.
Right.
But it's my version of the world. There's some stories. There's case studies, how I've done it.
It's very practical.
And that's the essence to book writing. And practical. Thank you. That's exactly right.
That's what this book is.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm just going to open over here. Page, here we go. Page 21. Personal Branding 101. I love how you do it. Personal Branding 101. As a child, I loved Pop-Tarts. And you're talking about yourself.
That's exactly right. And things that people get. I mean, we all know what Pop-Tarts are. Most of us do. And the story goes, there's at the time, Black and White or the No Frills brand Pop-Tarts back in the day, at least. Now they said they changed it some fancy names. Whether it tastes good or not, no kid wants that. As I said, I use another word. No kid wants that stuff. We all want what sizzles. And that's what personal branding is about. What makes you different?
Tonight's guest is a friend, a buddy, Ramon Ray. He is the founder and CEO of Smart Hustle Media. In fact, I followed your conference. It's once a year?
Yeah, once a year.
Once a year in New York. Yeah. And you got some Seth Godin, you'd have, all-star lineup of guests. When's your next one coming up?
Yeah, thank you. Smart Hustle Growth Conference, October 25th, which is a Thursday or a Friday.
Nice.
SmartHustle.com.
SmartHustle.com.
/conference.
/conference. Yeah. That's pretty simple. If you can't get that, you're, then how are you in business?
Absolutely. And thank you for the shout out. We welcome your listeners to come.
Excellent. Thank you. So, Ramon, you're a star in the media world. You speak all over. You wrote books. But I understand there's a story you worked at the UN, United Nations. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
And how it had an effect in your career.
Big effect. So I think I was the youngest person who worked at the United Nations. Maybe I was 19, 20.
Okay.
I think 19 or 20, as I remember. And so I started working there. I just wanted a job. Mm-hmm. I was a young guy. I wanted a job. A lady from my church was like, Ramon, you can apply and be a secretary or admin.
Okay.
So I was there many, many years. But I had the entrepreneurial bug, as you identify, and many listening to us inside me.
Right.
So I started a few side hustles and businesses and an event business while I was there. Bottom line is, though, there's rules against doing it. You cannot have a side business at the UN, as other government jobs have that similar rule.
Right.
But I had permission. There was somebody jealous of me. They put the word out, why is Ramon having it? And as you can imagine, that causes conflicts.
Oy vey.
And yes, indeed, oy vey, indeed. And I had to choose between the UN or leaving, and I got fired. I knew it was going to come, but I got fired. But, as you said, if I wouldn't have done that, I kept saying, okay, I'm going to save up $10,000. I'm going to save up $1 million. I'm going to have $50 million in savings before I leave, so I can. It would never happen, as you can imagine.
Of course.
What I didn't know. But when I left, I had to make it work.
Right.
I remember my wife would tell me, say we had to pretend like $1 in the bank account, more than that, but $1 ratio. She'd say, Ramon, we got 90 cents. 80 cents, 70 cents, and that propelled me.
And that's correct. Your back is to the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Back is to the wall.
Which was, I'm so glad. Back to the wall, that propelled me forward. So.
Now, you talk about relationships. You have a story about President Obama, Ivanka Trump, Shaquille O'Neal. You're a master at networking. Talk about even those relationships. Even some are deeper, some are, I don't want to say superficial. Maybe that's not the right word.
Good word. I
to use. Okay. But some are just, it was just a light connection. But eventually they lead to something. Talk about each one.
I will indeed. And again, as you said, superficial. I'll talk about the story first that people understand. So President Obama, Google had a contest a couple years ago when he was in office, and they said, apply to interview the president. As I was told, which made me feel great, 300,000 people applied to interview the president on his first live hangout. Yeah, 300,000. And due to a variety of things, how I asked, how I talked, what I talked about. It wasn't about, back then, all kind of issues, his presidency.
Right.
I stayed away from that. I asked a question about the only thing I know, small business. They loved it. And so me and 4 other Americans out of 300,000 people got to interview the president.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, now let's go to Shaquille O'Neal, Ivanka Trump.
Absolutely. And again, as you're saying, it all goes back to my strategy, celebrity CEO, building your personal brand. And why do I want to do these things, I'll say? To get the selfie. I'm not going to be ashamed to get the shot with him. Some are a little deeper than others to get the content. So with Shaquille O'Neal, this just happened about a month ago, give or take. He was at a big event. Everybody was there. Hundreds of people, behind the ropes or behind the stanchions and all that. Yeah.
Right.
So he's coming down. I'm thinking, how do I talk to this guy?
Right.
As he's coming, hey, Shaquille, that was a great talk. I learned about what he said.
Right. So a real connection.
Yes.
Right. Not just
in the moment.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
He walked up. We had our high five. That's what I wanted. Ivanka Trump, similar thing. She was on stage, and I'll show you the picture offline. Secret Service, U.S., Indian. These guys are jacked. Ladies are serious.
Right.
Ivanka's leaving the stage. I'm thinking, how do I get her to come back? She had mentioned about her New York City roots.
Right.
I didn't put a Brooklyn accent on, which I can't, but I was thinking about it. I said, Ivanka, I grew up in Brooklyn. Come back here. Let's take a selfie. Guess what? She did. Out of the hundreds of people who she could have came, she came back to me. And I've done that with Colin Powell and many others. That, of course, I'm a true believer in relationships longer term, but it works even in the short term. Just how you smile, how you connect,
True.
how you make people feel.
True. I want to come back to something we touched on earlier in the show, especially in today's day and age, where we live. Social media plays such a big role in our lives. How? My question now is not how important it is, but how do you communicate that to the millennials, to the Gen Zs, that, you may be attached to your phone, but you got to pull away from it and start building some real relationships.
Yeah. And I think what we're doing here is an example of that. So a few things you helped me frame this well. As I told you, I joked with you, my English sometimes screws up.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Even when you do a retweet, let's take that for example.
Yeah.
I retweet with a comment. So I'm going to progress it here. That's even deeper than just a like or comment.
Right. True.
Hey, thanks for saying clean water's good. I drink 5 waters a day. If I retweeted you, you're going to notice that more.
That's right.
So that's
Right.
one. Instagram is more than just a like. Comment. Be engaging. Be real.
Right. It's like the one when you sent out a great tweet about thanking God, and I wrote, so...
Yes, exactly.
Right. I
It meant
added
a
it
lot.
because, and it was true.
Right.
And with the hashtag thank God.
That's exactly right. So then the second step of that is to the young people especially. You're so right. The phone and digital technology is only so far. Nothing beats a shaking of a hand, having a warm coffee, a hug. Even, a phone call. And I'll give you something else I do. On Facebook, you can see people's birthdays.
Right.
Not to everybody. I do a short video. Happy birthday, dear Yitzchok. Short message. And I send it to people. Not to everybody.
Right.
But that's a
But that-
deeper
that
relationship.
builds. That
Maybe I
builds.
can't have a coffee, can't shake a hand. But out of the 100 people on a given day's birthday, 3 people I'm a little closer to.
Right.
I can take the time and send you a 5-second happy birthday.
And of course, that is real relationship.
Absolutely.
He thought of me. He reached out to me.
And to the friends we've mentioned, that's what we do. Shep and Sylvie and all these people we
Yeah.
know. We don't have tea every day and go golfing we can't do it. But Sylvie can send a text and say, Ramon, I appreciate you. I can send something to Jeffrey Hazlett and say, Jeffrey, thanks for all you do, brother. So
Moving along, event production is, of course, a huge undertaking. I mean, even the conference, you work on the conference. When do you start on the conference? The day after the previous conference?
Exactly.
Basically.
Yes.
So it's a 364-day of preparation, and on the 365th day is when it happens.
That's correct. That's
Wow.
right. All of it. And you're right. Conference preparation is not easy. And I think the reason I do it, again, going back to this personal branding, I think doing conferences, Yitzchok, is one of the last steps to building your personal brand. Everybody can't do it, but I'm a firm believer in bringing people together in real life.
Before I get to my question, how can people find out more about your upcoming conference?
Thank you so much.
Of course.
October 25th, the Smart Hustle Growth Conference.
In New York City?
In New York City, smarthustle.com/conference. We have a guy, maybe you know him, Junk Luggers is one guy who's coming. Executive from Entrepreneur Magazine's coming.
Nice.
So we have a good lineup of people. And
Amazing.
maybe you'll be there. We'll see what your schedule
Hey,
looks
I'm
like.
looking forward. Hey, can't keep a secret here. There's around 38,000 listeners to the broadcast each week.
Awesome.
Event production's a huge undertaking, but you've done it for many years, including, of course, the Smart Hustle Conference.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think hosting it? Because you mentioned this, but why do you think it's so important as one of those multi-channel efforts that an entrepreneur has to do in order to scale his business?
Absolutely. So listen, I'm a firm believer everybody has to have a website, a blog, an email newsletter. Up from there, whichever order,
Right.
social media is great.
Right.
Do your video and all that. Up from there, do your CRM, lead nurturing, and things you've talked about in your
Right.
show many times.
Right.
Books then, events and etc. is a fourth wheel or whatever number I'm at right now. So events make you the top dog. And again, I like to use examples that are not digital because that's easy.
Right.
Let's take a dog walking business.
Right.
You're just doing word of mouth, but you have the Dog Walkers Convention bringing together, or Dog Walkers Summit, bring together your Park Slope high-end clients, learning,
Right.
I can get a gold leash. I'm making all, get my point. You're on stage. You're getting videotaped.
Right.
You're being interviewed. People are seeing your face. You're being branded. This is why I'm a firm believer in events. Everybody can't do it. Right. But as you grow, when you bring together, and even Yitzchok, if you want to do small events, 10 people around a conference room with some stale pizza on a meetup, do that. Because oftentimes the pizza's cold and the Pepsi's warm. So, let's face it.
Over the last couple of weeks, tell me some of the cities that you've spoken in.
Yeah, I was in Orlando, I think, last week.
Okay.
Aruba, an island next to Aruba, which escaped me. Aruba. I'll say Aruba.
Okay. That's, okay.
I think I was
we
in
get
San
the
Diego.
Idea. We get the idea. You're getting plenty of people jealous.
Exactly.
It's okay, you know.
So I've been to a few places. I mean,
San Diego?
in and out. Yeah. So about
Nice.
three
So
cities probably. And
First of all, so what's your tips to deal with flying?
you know what? So first, it depends on who you are. When I fly with my wife, she's like, Ramon, it's the most horrific experience in the world. I can't sleep. I itch. I move. I'm cold. I'm hot. That's her body type. Me, hearing that, I'm out like a baby.
Really? And you don't have to take those pills?
Nah, man, I'm asleep. If I want, I listen to movies. I take a stack of Business Week and Forbes and Fortune, the magazines we read. But really, I can sleep like a baby. So for me, I don't have that issue.
I got to share a story.
Please.
I know I got to share a story.
Gotta hear it.
I was flying to Israel on behalf of a client.
Okay.
And it was one of those short trips. Like I was coming in and there for like 36 hours and then taking the flight back.
Brutal.
Okay. And for whatever reason, I don't sleep well on a plane.
Okay.
Even though I love the sound, I don't mind flying, but just I itch, I turn. And it's a long flight. It's basically a 12-hour flight, and then, the time difference and all that. I get on the plane, we get in our seat, and sure enough, I then pop in 2 sleeping pills. I figured, okay, I'm going to put myself out. Good. I pop in the 2 pills. Before we leave the gate, we close the door, pilot gets on the plane, and says, hey, we may have an issue. Sit tight. We'll let you know in a few minutes, but we may have an issue. Okay. Comes back on 3 minutes later. We apologize. The windshield is cracked, and we're not able to replace it. We have to deplane, and we're going to have to put you up in hotels, things like that. Meanwhile, I had already popped in 2 sleeping pills. I then start going. I'm like... I then start schlepping my way through the airport. I remember I wasn't able to lift my feet. I'm like, almost felt like crawling through the airport. And I remember like, like as a grind.
That is hilarious.
But, like, hey, you can't make this stuff up.
So now what did you learn from that? Are you going to wait next time until the plane takes off and never do that again?
And that basically, yes. Subsequently, I took the pills once we took off.
Yes,
now, of course, God willing, and everything is safe, but I waited. Yeah,
that's funny. That
even
is
though
hilarious.
there aren't much takeaways from that. That story is 1 in 1,000, whatever. You can't. But
I think we all have those little things. For me,
Yeah.
I know me and milk are not such friends.
Got you.
So
then-
I don't have milk-based products when I'm in a long flight. For
right.
the sake of the other passengers, I'm like, you know what? Let me just have some water or some juice.
That's correct. You
Things like
learn
that.
how your body takes it. Let's talk about growing businesses, because you run the Smart Hustle Conference. Again, how can people find out more about it?
Thanks so much. smarthustle.com/conference. Smart Hustle Growth Conference.
So you deal with so many entrepreneurs, small business owners, which of course makes up the primary listenership of this show. What would you say is the most challenging part of running and scaling a business?
That's a great question, which probably has 1,000 answers. But I think for me, it's one time.
And we have only 20 minutes left, so.
I'll try to say it in 2 minutes. But I think time management is one.
Okay.
And a cousin to that is focus. That's been for me doing, squirrel, 10 million different things. I think 3, your family. I found that I had this question. I do a regular video show, and I have one of the people who were on the show said, Ramon, how do you do a work-family balance?
Right.
I said, you can't. I think it's harmony. I mean, we're in business. We want to make money. You probably know your employees better than you know your family. It shouldn't be that way, but that's life. But I think really productivity, time management, knowing your numbers. That's been something I've had to really think about. I'm charging $1 for a cup. Did the cup cost me $1.01? So I think very small business, know your numbers. The people who are scaling, the best things I found are 2 things. One, you have to have systems in place, and you have to be able to delegate. I'm only now doing that well, Yitzchok. And I've been in business over 20 years, started 4 companies. But I'm finding when I can partner or work with other people, I'm doing less work and getting paid more. I don't want too many people to know that. So that's my secret, what I'm doing. And it's working.
You touched on a very important point, and that is know your numbers. A guest here, like 2 years ago, I'm trying to think which one in particular spoke about this, about knowing your hard cost numbers and your soft costs. Many people don't factor. They'll look at the balance sheet. They say, okay, I know how much the ad placement costs. I know how much the electricity costs. But then they're not factoring in the soft costs. And I don't remember if the guest said it could even come out to more than the hard costs, or certainly it could be a very significant portion of a budget. But people kind of ignore those numbers.
And soft costs such as like overhead and employees and things like that. Give
Right.
us okay, yes.
Yeah.
You're
So,
true.
let's say employees, they're not looking at that part of the team. But wait a second, they're taking out of their time. They're getting paid. Soft costs could be the insurance on the building, the mortgage payment.
Because we're so
How is it
trained
being
probably
amortized?
just to think about, the COGS.
Right.
That's what we're thinking
right.
about.
The cost
But you're
of
right.
goods sold. But wait, the mortgage, where is that being factored in? Or lease payments?
Right, which is, I guess, many of us are probably not charging enough for things,
That's
which
correct.
I've learned. It's funny.
Because they don't.
Yeah.
They don't
A client
factor it
asks
in.
me to do something, and I say, again, I use the word dollar as a
Right.
euphemism for
Right.
everything.
Okay.
So I charged them $1. They made a change, and I said, you know what? Let me try this. And me and him were talking a bit, and I said, I'm going to charge you $3. They were like, okay. So this is not quite what we're saying, but numbers are everything, and I'm learning it. Yeah.
Now, you are a star among many things, on social media.
Sure.
And of course, we talked about that still no one can ever ignore the fact that, real relationships are human, pressing the flesh, giving a handshake, giving a hug, etc. But perhaps you could share specifically, I'm going to focus on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. What tips could you share to becoming a superstar on those three very important social media platforms?
Sure. Overall, let it go, let it go. I don't know if it's the right key, but just let it go. And don't take yourself too seriously. Be real. Taking one specifically, LinkedIn is getting into live video, as you know, and video overall. I think that while Facebook video is being cluttered and there's your grandma and your niece and scammers and me and you on there.
Don't put us all in the same boat. Come on, Ramon.
LinkedIn is still curated serious business people.
Right.
So for LinkedIn, I'm telling you, I would go all in and learn that platform. Video, start to blog there. That's one. I can give a lot of tips, but LinkedIn. Twitter, it's still the digerati are there, the cool people exclusive.
Right.
Many people don't use it well.
Celebrities.
Exactly. But do it. I wake up all the time and hashtags, like there's something Monday morning, Sunday breakfast.
Right.
I do that on Twitter quite a bit. For Facebook, I say Facebook Live. Build a community. That's the really good place. Oh, and groups. Mark Zuckerberg is all into groups and going niche. If you look at his F8, his annual conference, niche. So LinkedIn, go on video, blog on LinkedIn. Twitter, use the hashtags Fast and Furious, a lot of great focused content. Facebook, I'd say explore Facebook groups.
Fantastic. At the beginning of the show, we talked about FREA. Free, I don't know, FREA, I don't know, what does that stand for?
FREA.
What is it? Yeah, well, what is that? Who made that up?
So here's what I'm going to give. For those who are still, I made it up, it's my thing.
Hey, okay.
For those who are still mystified about social media, here's
Okay.
Ramon's version of social media in a nutshell.
Okay, ready.
FREA, frequency, relevancy, engagement, analytics. That is the essence. How frequent are you on social media? If you're out of sight, you'll be out of mind. Is it relevant what you're posting to your niche audience? Is it engaging what you're doing? Is it boring or is it engaging? In analytics, measure what you're doing. That's the key of it.
This is such fantastic advice because so many people will continue to, let's say, make noise and not pay attention to the analytics, or they won't be frequent on it. They'll just do it, they'll do 2 posts and then go AWOL for a month.
Right. I
You can't
tweeted
do
last
that.
month.
All these, perhaps you can explain. I love it. FREA, FREA. Can you please explain it one more time?
Absolutely. Frequency, relevancy, engagement, analytics. Frequency, make sure that you're on social media. We can debate when and what time and
Right.
how often today, but be on it frequently. This is social media, not just I tweeted last week. Relevancy, the more narrow and niche you are, don't just tweet about or go on Facebook about cats. No, you should be talking about long-haired, overweight cats because you're a veterinarian, whatever. So that's relevancy. Engagement, have it fun. Don't just have a picture of a cup. Put your hand in it. You'll see a lot of my things. I do a picture of a cup like this. Sounds weird, but some people are shy. Have it picture where you see your lips on the cup, the water.
Right.
Things like that. So engagement analytics, measure what you're doing. Maybe you're focusing on your business. You're saying, we're going after green people who are 8 feet tall. And you're measuring your analytics and realizing, we have some blue people that are 3 feet tall, 17%, and they're coming from Brooklyn. I don't know. You need to start changing your words and things and market to the whatever I just said people
Right.
in Brooklyn, if you get my point.
Now, social media is great, but there are many channels for a great multi-channel campaign. Email marketing, blogs, creating content. Perhaps you can explain video-based marketing. Explain how important that is in terms of someone's overall marketing effort.
Absolutely. I think that there are too many people, Yitzchok, who are focused on just social media, especially the younger generation, Snapchat, or whatever it is. Every business, I still think, and if you want to call me old school, that's okay. Every business must have a good website that's fast and that's mobile ready, but I think a website is still the foundation of digital marketing.
Right.
Email list. I'm a firm believer in email list building. Build those emails so you own your own list. When the algorithms change, you own your list.
That's right.
And blogging. For your thought leadership, for SEO and all these things that you and your company and all these people know about. And video is powerful. Video humanizes and personalizes your brand. If you're shy, get over it. Or come see, the MYV people. Go ask them for a I'm Shy class or something. I'm sure you can cook up. So that's
I'm going to give a shout out to the Dale Carnegie people. I took that course a couple of years ago. And I saw people in that course that were very shy at the beginning. I took the immersion course, that 3-day intensive course. At the beginning of the course, they're like, you could barely get their name out of them. By the end of the course, they were like kind of bouncing off the walls. Wow. They somehow really have a way of, bringing it out.
And I like that. I didn't know that. I think that's a good idea, really, because many people, my wife included, oh no. Or the perfectionist. They will never finish it. The video's 75 times they've done the video.
Stephen Gaffney rings a bell?
Yes, he does.
Stephen Gaffney is part of NSA. We had him on the show. He talked about perfectionitis. He says perfection. You gotta get rid of the disease of perfectionitis because otherwise you're gonna be stuck. It's like paralysis. It's just like you can't get out of the box because it has to be perfect. No. It's okay. Get out there. Try to be perfect, but life moves on.
That's right.
My guest this evening is none other than Ramon Ray. He is the CEO and founder of Smart Hustle Media. His conference is coming up later this year, late October. When is what's the date of it?
October 25th is the Smart Hustle Growth Conference, smarthustle.com/conference. Thank you so much, Yitzchok.
Of course. Highly recommended, especially for the listeners of this audience, which is comprised of entrepreneurs, small business owners, executives, etc. Ramon, we have only a couple of minutes left. The time flies, especially having fun, right? And we are having a good time. Let's talk about some of the challenges that entrepreneurs deal with. Thank God, me and you, we're excited, we're passionate, and we're driven. But, hey, there are challenges that come up from time to time. Now, of course, there's a person has to have the mindset on how to, don't look at walls, look at speed bumps, and that's important. But what would your recommendation be for someone that's, there's the dips and they're dealing with some challenging days? What's your advice on how to deal with it and to move forward?
Yeah. And thank you for asking that. I think it's such a great way to almost close the show. Thank you for asking that. Right. I think that the entrepreneurship can have this vision. You watch Shark Tank and other shows that everything's great and perfect. It's not. We'd like it to be, and many of us are blessed and we're doing okay. But for those of you listening who are down, who are struggling, who are like Ramon, it's just not working, make sure that you're in the right business. Maybe you need to get a job.
Maybe you mean you're just grinding.
You're just grinding along. Maybe you need to stop your entrepreneur journey and get a 9-to-5 job. I tell that to people. Right. 2, are you getting mentorship? Are there people you're turning to who can help you sell better, market better, grow your business higher? That's point 2. I've had a lot of people around me, many of our mutual friends who've helped me. That's point 2.
Right.
And point 3, hold on. Because if you're getting mentorship, if you're doing everything right, if you've only been doing this for 2 days, you need a year or 2 or 3 or 4 to get into this. So those are my things. But I would say keep on doing it. Get mentorship is the biggest thing. Surround yourself with other people, not just to pat you on the back, but can help you move forward.
Very important. In fact, in a LinkedIn video that was posted by Gary V. So, someone asked him the question. They say, what, I'm running a high-end furniture retail operation. I'm doing it for 2 years, and, I'm getting somewhere, but I'm I'm not getting the traction. And he basically said, wait a second, traction? He said, I started in business 30 years ago.
That's right.
And okay, he got traction along the way, but still, he wasn't the celebrity 10 years ago that he is today. He said, it takes time. Like you said, hold on. I like how you put it. Hold on. Life takes time. We don't have much time left, but let's just talk about, in your book, you talk about sales funnels. Sales is such a critical part of any business. Perhaps you could share any quick takeaways on sales funnels.
Sales funnels, absolutely. Bottom line is, and what people often are not doing, Yitzchok, they're often just going on Twitter, just collecting emails, and they stop. I'm advocating, not just me, but what we do in business here is build your list and know the customer buying points. That's one. Two, understand that people need to be touched multiple times before they buy. So sales funnel is basically about, you have 1,000 people who are on your email list, 500 people opened it, 200 people clicked the link, 50 people then were interested, 10 people bought, rinse and repeat. At a high level, I think that's kind of the sales funnel. You have to keep doing that, and other things that you'll learn on your show. That's what I mean by sales funnel.
Ramon, you have your hand in a lot of stuff. Am I allowed to ask you what's next for you?
Yeah, what's next? I'd love my own, to be on TV more.
Hey,
I'd love to do a TV show. I love TV. And I think what's next for me is really the same, Yitzchok. What I'm doing right now, sitting here with you, educating business owners, I can do it all day long.
Ramon, we're almost out of time, but take out a minute, even 2 minutes. Share what final takeaway or takeaways could you share from your vast experience in the world of small business?
I think 2 or 3 things I'd say, and one I learned from you and your team just recently.
Thank you.
Is one, being kind, smiling, how you greet everybody makes a big difference, and people will, even I feel tearing up a slight bit, people will never forget it. Strangers, just a smile, that's one. I think 2, don't give up too soon. If you're on the right path, it takes a while to be where you want to be.
And a while is more than 10 minutes. I say, 10 minutes, I'll give it 20 minutes. How about 20 years?
Yeah, no, you're so true. So take time. I think the other thing, as I said before, but I'll repeat again, this power of mentorship. There's so many people, and I'm not talking about just friends, your bro. Oh, Yitzchok, yeah, the stain on your shirt's not bad. No. I mean people that say, dude, the stain doesn't look good, or here's how to wash it, or we'll tell you. So I think this aspect of surrounding yourself with people smarter than you, who are friends, can help. I've called Jeffrey Hazley. We've mentioned his name a few times. I'll mention it
brother
again.
Jeffrey.
Yeah. So I think those are a few things I'd say, because running a small business is hard. But I'm telling you, once you get the processes and systems and all that right, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
I love the honor of interviewing C-level executives and sharing their great advice and perspective on Mind Your Business. I'd love to get your feedback. Post it in the comments below and subscribe. You'll never miss an edition of Mind Your Business.